Title: He inherited his alien stepsister's best friend, and now she's sharing his bed. Jace Varel had never planned to leave Earth. He liked his small workshop in the lower zones of New Seattle, where he fixed old drones and drank cheap coffee. Life was quiet. Life was normal. But everything changed when the message came from Karthus V Property Inheritance. Confirm arrival within 10 standard days. The message said. It came from his late stepfather's outpost, a small mining station, far across the stars. Jace hadn't spoken to the man in 5 years, not since his mother died. And he hadn't spoken to Tlari, his alien stepsister. Since she left Earth to join the diplomatic corps, he never expected to inherit anything. But now, here he was, standing on the rusty landing platform of Outpost 9KV, with nothing but a duffel bag, a worn tool belt, and questions. The sky above him was dark purple, with electric clouds moving like slow rivers. Karthus V was a rough world. Acid rains, dangerous wildlife, and strange energy pulses deep in its crust. Not the kind of place you'd choose to live. But someone had. The outpost looked nearly abandoned. Dented walls, flickering lights, and scorch marks around the door made Jace's skin crawl. He stepped inside. The lights buzzed. The air smelled like rust and old machine oil. He walked through the narrow hallways, boots echoing. There were signs of recent life plates in the sink, a half-eaten ration bar on a desk, but no sign of Tlari. Hello? No. Answer. Then, a voice from the shadows. You're late. Jace turned quickly. His hand reached for the tool in his belt. A tall figure stepped into the light. She wasn't human. Smooth violet skin, jet black eyes with golden rings. Short silver hair tied behind her neck. She wore sleek battle armor, though it was scratched and clearly old. A glowing symbol on her collar marked her as Ixari military. I'm Estra, she said. Talri's friend. Or was. Jace stared. Where is she? Estra's eyes darkened. Gone. Disappeared 3 weeks ago during a peace mission. We think it was a trap. Dominion agents are likely involved. Jace's stomach turned, and the outpost. You inherited it, along with her message. Protect the station. Stay inside after sunset. And trust no one. He looked at her, confused. Why are you still here? Clary asked me to protect you, she said simply. So I will. Jace didn't know what to say. Barely knew this alien woman. She spoke with a soldier's voice, calm, sharp, and emotionless. But he could feel something else in her tone. Pain. Estra turned and walked down the hallway. Your room is this way. You'll be staying in Tlari's old chamber. Wait, he said, following. Where will you be? She stopped at a doorway. Same room. Energy shielding is limited. The safest place is where the field overlap. Is strongest near the core wall. That's by the bed. Jace blinked. So we're sharing? There is no choice, she said. I won't explain everything now, but you are in danger. This outpost is no longer safe. Up. Jace felt like the floor had shifted under him. One day he was fixing drones. Next, he was standing on a distant planet with a strange alien woman telling him to sleep beside her. For protection. Still, he nodded. Fine, I'll stay. That night, the wind howled outside. Acid rain tapped against the walls like tiny hammers. The power flickered twice. Inside the dim-lit chamber, Jace lay on one side of the bed. Estra sat cross-legged on the other, meditating. With her eyes closed and her hands resting on her knees, a glowing orb hovered over her chest. Strange light flowed from it, forming a gentle energy field that wrapped around the room like a soft blanket. He stared at the ceiling. You knew Tori well? We trained together. She was more than a diplomat. She believed in humans, believed you were more than the galaxy assumed. Jace frowned. We're just people. Estra opened her eyes. To most species, you're unpredictable, violent, and strange. But Tlari thought those traits made you valuable. Dangerous, but valuable. Silence. Jace looked at her. Why are you really helping me? Estra looked back. Because she asked me to. Because I think she was right. He nodded. Slowly, despite everything, He didn't feel afraid of her. She was sharp, distant, but there was no threat in her. Only duty. He lay back, closed his eyes. For now, he would sleep. For now, he would trust. The wind outside grew stronger. Deep underground, something stirred. Unknown to Jace, sensors had picked up movement far from the outpost metal shapes crawling. Through the dust, drawn toward a faint human signal, and in the dark, Astra watched over him. She did not sleep. She had seen what the Dominion did to hybrids, and she had sworn to protect the last one who could change it all, even if it meant sharing a bed with a human. Jace woke up with a strange feeling. The room was quiet, but not peaceful. It was the kind of silence that felt like the air was waiting for something. The energy shield still glowed faintly along the walls. It's like a soft curtain of light. Astra sat at the edge of the bed, already awake. Her armor was off, but she wore a plain gray shirt and black leggings. Her eyes were fixed on a small floating screen that showed lines of alien code. "You never sleep?" Jace asked, his voice rough from sleep. "I rest differently," she said without turning. "We slow our hearts and enter a light trance. We do not need full sleep like humans." He sat up and rubbed his face. "Right. You're built tougher." Astra turned to look at him. Not tougher, just different. Jace got up, pulled on his boots, and walked over to the window. Outside, thick clouds moved fast over the red ground. Strange lights blinked. Far in the sky, shuttle trails, or maybe lightning. Wasn't sure. "What's really going on?" he asked. "You said I was in danger. From what?" Astra stood and turned off the floating screen. She looked serious now, more soldier than. "Roommate Tlari was part of a secret peace group," she said. "They believed the Dominion was planning something terrible. A hidden purge targeting hybrids, human-connected species, and those who don't follow their rule." Jace frowned. "Why hybrids?" "Because they're proof that species can unite," she said. "The Dominion fears change. They fear your kind especially." He blinked. "Me? I'm not special. I'm just me." Astra stepped closer. That's what Tlari thought too. At first, but then she found something. Signal in your DNA. A pattern. One that connects to ancient. XRE tech. Jace backed up a step. "Wait, you're saying I'm part alien?" She nodded. "She wasn't fully human. And you're something new. Something the Dominion wants to erase." Jace sat down heavily on the bed. "This is insane. I fix drones. I drink old coffee. I can barely pay my rent. Now I'm a target." Astra's voice softened just slightly. "I know it's a lot, but you have to believe me." He looked up at her. For the first time, he saw past the armor, past the sharp voice. She wasn't just some alien soldier. She was someone who had lost her best friend. Someone who was trying to keep a promise. "What happens if they find me?" he asked. "They'll either kill you or use you." Jace ran a hand through his hair. "Great. What are my options?" Astra answered quickly. "We train. We activate your potential. And we find out what Tlari left behind." That day they searched the outpost together. Jace followed Astra through hidden doors and dusty tunnels below the surface. The outpost was bigger than he thought, tech-strange devices, and forgotten labs buried deep underground. In one room, they found a locked console. Astra touched the screen. It stayed dark. "Try it," she told Jace. He raised an eyebrow. "Me? I'm not a hacker." "Just touch it," she said. He did. The screen lit up instantly. Blue lights danced across the walls. The machine hummed like it had been asleep for years, waiting for him. Astra's eyes widened. Only an echo binder could do that. Echo what now? "It means your mind can speak to our tech, directly. No tools, no wires. There hasn't been one in 100 years." Jace backed away from the console. "That's not normal." "No," she said. "It's not." That night, the storms returned. Wind slammed against the walls like fists. Low rumble echoed under the floor. It's like something deep underground had woken up. Back in their shared room, Jace sat on the bed. Staring at the glowing ceiling, "I still don't understand why you're doing this," he said. Estra sat beside him, adjusting her wristband. "I told you, for Talari." "But there's more, isn't there?" he asked. She looked at him for a long moment, then she nodded. "When I left the battlefield, I had nothing," she said. "No purpose, no bond. Talari gave me both." She believed there was a future where humans and Exari fought side by side. Not enemies, not tools, partners. She glanced away. She loved you in her own way. She believed you were the beginning of that future. Jace didn't know what to say. The idea felt heavy, like wearing armor that didn't fit. "I'm not a hero," he said quietly. "You don't have to be," Estra replied. "Just survive, learn, and be ready." She stood and walked toward the control pad. "We increased the energy field tonight." There was movement near the ridge. Jace nodded. She activated the shielding. He lay back and stared at the ceiling. So many questions, so few answers. But one thing was clear now. This wasn't just an inheritance. It was a war, and he was right. In the middle of it. The next morning, Jace woke up to the sound of alarms. "Warning, perimeter alert, movement detected." He sat up fast. Estra was already in her armor, holding a small plasma rifle. Her eyes scanned the room. "Get dressed." "Ow," she said. Sharply, Jack threw on his boots and jacket. His heart pounded. "What's out there?" "I don't know," she said, voice calm but tense. "But it's not wildlife." These were organized steps. Tactical, measured. Together, they rushed to the lower level of the outpost. The screen showed figures moving near the old mining rig, a group of 6. Their shapes were thin, their suits glowing with green and black armor. "Dominion scouts," Estra whispered. "Too early. They weren't supposed to find us yet." Jace stared. "Then what do? "We run," she said. "Now." Outside, acid wind blew across the ground, but the storm had calmed enough for them to move. They left through a hidden hatch beneath the outpost. Crawling through narrow rock tunnels, Estra moved like a shadow, silent, focused. Jace did his best to follow, his mind spinning. "Why are they after me so fast?" he asked as they moved. "They must have tracked the activation signal from the console," she said. "Your power woke something up." "My power? I didn't even do anything." "You touched the machine and it answered. That's enough." After an hour, they reached the remains of an old mining rig, half buried in red sand. Its large metal arms reached into the sky like broken bones. "This place is off-grid," Estra said. "No sensors, no signals. They can't trace us here. We hide and rest." Inside the broken structure, Jace sat on a crate and looked around. The rig smelled like dust and machine oil. Old tools were scattered on the floor. A broken drone sparked weakly in the corner. "You used to work here?" he asked. "Talari and I trained here once," she said, sitting across from him. This place was her favorite. Said it reminded her of Earth's deserts. He smiled a little. "She always said Earth was strange but beautiful." Estra nodded. "She admired your people more than anyone I knew." Jace looked down at his hands. "I wish I'd known her better. I didn't even get to say goodbye." There was silence for a moment. The wind howled through the holes in the rig. Then Estra said, "I still feel her." Jace looked up. "What do you mean?" Estra tapped her temple. We were linked. Emotionally. Not like a human bond, it's deeper. We don't use the word friend the same way. We share thoughts, memories, instincts. You were more than friends?" Jace asked softly. "Yes," Estra said simply. "She was part of me." He nodded slowly. "Then why are you here with me?" "Because she asked me to be." "Because you were her last mission." And now she paused. "Now you might be the last hope for everything she believed in." Suddenly, a loud click echoed through the rig. Both of them jumped up. Estra grabbed her rifle and aimed toward the entrance. A tall figure stepped inside metal armor, glowing visor, strange device in hand. It made a strange clicking sound as it scanned the room. "Dominion Hunter," Estra whispered. "He found." Us. The alien raised its weapon. Jace felt frozen, but Estra moved faster than he could follow. She kicked a metal panel, sending a burst of smoke into the room. Then she tackled Jace, dragging him behind a wall. "Run to the back," she said. "I'll hold it off." "No," Jace yelled. "You'll be killed." "Move," she shouted, then fired her rifle. Plasma bolts lit up the dark room. The Dominion soldier returned fire, blasting the walls with green energy. Jace ducked and ran, pounding until he reached the back of the rig. There, behind a fallen beam, he saw something. Glowing a door, secret vault. Half covered in sand, Jack touched it. The door lit up. Estra, still fighting, shouted over her shoulder, "What did you do?" "I don't know," he called, but it opened. The Dominion hunter turned toward Jace, but before he could shoot, Estra leapt into his path and slammed a blade into the alien's chest. The energy around the soldier burst in sparks, and he fell to the ground. Estra dropped beside him, panting. Blood trickled from her arm. Jacka ran to her. "Are you hurt?" "A scratch," she said. "What's in the vault?" They turned to look. Inside was a small, glowing sphere, floating above a pedestal. Around it were ancient carvings in Ixari script. Estra stepped closer, her eyes wide. "This is a thought core," she whispered. "It stores memories. Secrets. Larry must have hidden it here." Jace looked at the carvings. "Can we use it?" "Only someone with the Echo gift can unlock it." He reached out. The moment his fingers touched the sphere, images flashed through his mind. Clary's face, her voice, her fear, then a warning. "They know. They're coming. If you're seeing this, protect the child. She's the key." Jace pulled his hand back, gasping. Estra stared at him. "What child?" Jace shook his head. "I don't know, but we have to find out." Outside, the wind picked up again. More enemies would come. But for now, they had a lead. And Jace wasn't just a target. Anymore, he was part of something much bigger. The outpost was quiet again, but Jace couldn't relax. He sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the thought core they had brought back from the vault. It floated above a small box, pulsing with soft light. Estra had placed it in the center of their shared room, scanning it carefully. "I still don't understand what I saw," Jace said. Talari's voice. She said, "Protect the child." Estra didn't answer right away. She moved around the orb slowly, holding a scanner. Her face was calm, but her eyes were focused, sharp. She left a memory locked inside. She said, "We need to open it fully. But that requires a deeper link." Jace frowned. "A link with who?" "With me," she said. "We have to connect your mind to mine, Ixori style." Jace stared. "Is that safe?" Estra looked at him. "It is not dangerous, but it is personal." He blinked. "Personal how?" She placed the scanner down. "Our minds will touch. Our memories may pass between us. Even feelings. It's not like talking, it's more like dreaming. Together." Jace hesitated. "You want me to share a dream with you?" Estra gave a slow nod. "Only if you agree. But it is the fastest way." He looked down at the orb, then back at her. "All right," he said. "Let's do it." Estra dimmed the lights and sat cross-legged on the bed. Jace sat across from her. They both placed a hand on the orb. "Close your eyes," she said, "and breathe." Jace did. The orb began to glow brighter. Suddenly, he was no longer in the room. He stood in a memory. The sky was green. Trees with crystal leaves moved in the wind. He saw Clary, standing beside a glowing cradle. Inside it, a small baby slept, its skin soft violet, faint glowing veins under the surface. "She's perfect," Clary whispered. "She will be the bridge." Then the sky turned dark. Sirens blared. Dominion soldiers marched into the scene. Clary wrapped the baby in a cloth and handed her to a hidden figure. The figure stepped into the light. It was Estra. "You must take her," Talari said. "And if I don't return, give her to Jace. He will protect her." The vision faded. Jace gasped and opened his eyes. Estra opened hers at the same time. They stared at each other, breathing hard. The orb dimmed again. You saw it too. Shh. Asked Estra nodded. Teleri had a child. A hybrid. Where is she now? She must be hidden somewhere in this outpost store nearby. Jace rubbed his face. Why didn't you tell me? I didn't know, Estra said softly. Until now. There was silence between them. Not awkward, just heavy. Full of thoughts and emotions they weren't used to sharing. Finally, Jace stood. We need to find her tonight. Estra stood too. We will, but not yet. He looked. At her? Why not? She looked down at her wrist. Her skin was dimmer now, duller than before. The connection took energy from me, more than I expected. You're hurt? Not hurt, she said, but weaker. She moved to the bed and sat down. Her hands trembled slightly. She had never seen her like this. She always looked strong, unshaken. You need rest. He said I need warmth, she corrected. Ixari draws strength from resonance. Your human energy helps stabilize mine. He blinked. You mean I can charge you up? It's like a battery? She gave him a tired smile. Something like that. Jace hesitated. So what do you need me to do? Just sit close, she said. Stay near me while I rest. Jace sat beside her on the bed. Estra leaned her head gently against his shoulder. He froze. Is this all right? She asked. Yeah, he said softly. Just knew. The room fell into quiet. Outside, the wind blew gently now. Storm had passed for a while. Minutes passed. Maybe hours. Jace wasn't sure when he closed his eyes. He saw more memories. That's right. Estra, training with Tlari, laughing, fighting side by side. A feeling of deep loyalty and pain. Grief, loss. He understood her more now. When he opened his eyes, Estra was still resting on his shoulder. Her breathing had slowed. Her skin glowed a little brighter again. She opened her eyes too. Better. He asked. She nodded. Thank you. They looked at each other. No words needed. Something between them had changed. Not love, not yet, but trust. A kind of closeness that couldn't be forced. Then the alarm beeped again. A signal. Jace walked to the console. A faint energy pulse was detected beneath the outpost. In an old chamber not listed on any maps. It's her, Estra said. The child. Jace turned. Then let's go. They grabbed their gear and headed for the hidden tunnel. JACE. Didn't know what they'd find, but he knew now he wasn't just living in a dead girl's outpost. He was walking through the legacy she left behind, and someone new was waiting in the dark. The tunnel under the outpost was colder than Jace expected. Metal pipes lined the walls, rusted and covered in dust. Estra walked ahead with her weapon ready, her violet skin glowing faintly in the dim light. They followed the signal from the thought core. It led them deeper and deeper underground, where no lights worked, and even the air felt heavier. Jace's voice echoed in the tunnel. You sure this is safe? Out! Estra replied without looking back. But it's necessary. After 10 more minutes of walking, they reached a sealed metal door. Strange symbols were carved into it, half in Ixari script, half in Earth standard letters. Estra stepped forward. Polarius Mark, she said. She locked this chamber herself. Jace stepped beside her. Let me try. He placed his palm on the door. Just like before, the metal lit up and hissed open. Inside, the air was warm. They stepped into a small, clean chamber glowing with soft, white light. In the center stood a stasis pod clear glass, glowing faintly blue, and inside it was a child. No more than a year old, wrapped in soft cloth. Her skin was a mix of pale pink and light violet, with tiny glowing lines on her forehead. She was asleep, but her chest rose and fell slowly. She's real, Jace whispered. Chilarious child. Estra stared silently. Her face softened, her eyes full of memory. She's the future Teleri wanted to protect, she said. A hybrid, half human, half Ixari. The first of her kind. Jace stepped closer to the pod. She looks, peaceful. She won't. Stay safe here for long, Estra said. The Dominion will return. They always do. Jace looked at her. Then we take her with us. Estra nodded. We'll have to protect her with everything we have. She pressed a button on the pod. The glass hissed open. A light breeze passed through the chamber as if the air itself was holding its breath. Baby blinked slowly and opened her glowing golden eyes. She didn't cry. Instead, she looked at Jace with curiosity. He smiled gently. Hey there, little one. The baby reached toward him, Estra whispered. She recognizes you. She doesn't even know me, Jace said softly. She knows your energy, Estra. Replied, you're part of her family. You're always meant to be. Jace picked her up carefully. The baby leaned against his chest like she belonged there, for the first time in days. Jace didn't feel like just a target or a mistake. He felt like something more, like a protector back at the outpost. They sealed the tunnel behind them. Estra worked to prepare a secure room for the baby. Jace sat with her in the shared bedroom, holding her gently while she slept in his arms. I never thought I'd be raising a child, he said. Estra sat across from him, her expression thoughtful. You're not alone, Jace. Looked at her. How long can you stay here? As long as I need to, she said. The mission hasn't changed. It's just more complicated now. He chuckled. Yeah, that's one way to say it. The baby stirred. Jace gently rocked her, and she calmed again. Estra watched closely. You're better at this than I expected. I think she's the first person I've met who doesn't expect me to fix a broken drone. A small smile formed on Estra's lips. Then her face turned serious. There's something else you should know. Jace looked up. Estra took a breath. The longer I stay near you, the more unstable my system becomes. My species isn't built for Earth-based resonance fields. But your energy or hybrid signal is interfering with me. Breaking me down? His eyes widened. Wait, are you saying I'm making you sick? She nodded slowly. Not on purpose. It's happening. Jace stood, panic in his voice. Then you should leave. Shouldn't be near me. If it's hurting you? Estra stood too. It's not that simple. Why not? Because if I leave, you'll be alone. And so will she said, pointing to the baby. Plari trusted me. I won't walk away, Jace. Looked at her. Then what's the answer? She hesitated. There's a way to stabilize my system. A Xari bond. Like a link. She nodded. It's not romantic. It's survival. It's minds, joined to share energy. If we form a low-level bond, your energy will stop hurting me. It will balance. He hesitated. You'd really do that with me? I trust you, she said. More than I ever trusted anyone except Plari. Jace looked at the baby. In his arms, then at Estra. He nodded. Then let's do it. That night, they formed the bond. No ceremony, no big moment. Just hands joined, minds linked, and energy shared under the glow of the shield light. Jace felt her thoughts' memories. Of war, of fear, of deep loneliness. She felt his of growing up unwanted, fixing machines to escape the silence. And now, this strange new hope, when the bond completed, Estra's glow brightened. Her strength returned. They opened their eyes. It worked, she said. I can feel it, he replied. You're not just beside me anymore. You're part of me now. She gave a slow nod. Now we survive. Together. The child slept peacefully nearby, unaware of the storm building outside. But her guardians Jace and Estra were ready, because tomorrow the Dominion would return, and this time they wouldn't be running. He inherited his alien stepsister's best friend, and now she's sharing his bed, as requested. Around 950 words, simple English third-person style, violated free. Exciting and emotional conclusion, Part 6. The bed we choose, the sky above. Karthus V was read. Storm clouds rolled fast, and lightning cracked across the sky. But this time, it wasn't a natural storm. It was a warship. Jace stood at the edge of the outpost's landing deck. The massive Dominion cruiser hovered in the clouds, sending down dropships filled with soldiers. He could see the blinking lights. They were coming. Estra stepped beside him, armored and ready. Her face was calm, but her eyes were sharp. There. Here for the child, she said. In me, Jace replied. She looked at him. Are you afraid? Yes, he said, but I'm not running. Inside the outpost, the child Larius' daughter lay safely in the new shielded chamber. A soft hum surrounded her bed. Built by Jace and powered by the Thought Core, it was their strongest protection. The bond between Jace and Estra had changed them. He was stronger, faster, and more focused. She was more stable, her energy no longer fading. Together, they were something new, something neither Dominion nor Earth had planned for. A hybrid and a warrior. A human and an alien. A team. A family. As the Dominion soldiers landed outside, Estra activated the defense system. Drones rose from the sand. Laser cannons clicked into place. An electric barrier surrounded the outpost walls. We can't hold forever, Jay said, watching the screens. But maybe long enough. Long enough for what? For a message. He turned to the console and sent a signal into deep space, a coded SOS, broadcasting Talaria's memory, the child's existence, and the Dominion's secret plan too. Destroy hybrids across the galaxy. It was a risk. But if even one allied ship heard it, there was hope. They'll know the truth, Jay said, and they'll know we fought for it. The first wave hit the outer gate. Explosions lit the desert. Dominion soldiers stormed the walls, armored and deadly. But Estra was faster. She moved like lightning, dodging shots, striking with her plasma blade, protecting the shield core with deadly skill. Jace stayed inside, guiding the drones and energy turrets with his mind. His echo power let him control the old tech with pure thought. One drone was about to overload. Jace focused, shut it down just in time. Estra's voice echoed through the cum. Jace, more are coming, he replied. I can hold the gate systems. But if they break through, they won't, she said. But even she sounded unsure, Anne. Hour passed, then another. More Dominion soldiers came. More damage hit the outpost. Then a scream of metal. The north wall collapsed. They were inside. Estra rushed back to the core chamber. Jace grabbed his sidearm and met her halfway. We hold here, she said, breathing hard. We don't let them pass this point. The final battle began. Jace fired at the invaders, using cover to protect the shield room. Estra fought beside him, blade glowing, armor cracked. Her shoulder was bleeding, but she didn't stop. Jace saw a soldier aiming at her from above. No, he shouted. He threw himself in front of her. The shot hit his side, burning, searing pain. He collapsed. Estra turned, eyes wide. She pulled him behind the console, placing a hand on his wound. You idiot, she said, voice shaking. Just part of the team, he whispered, smiling weakly. Then, above them, the Dominion commander entered, tall, cold, unblinking. The voice was like metal scraping stone. Hand over the child, he said, or die with her. Estra stood, blade ready. You'll have to go through me. You are broken, he said. We know. You cannot survive the bond. I already did, she answered. The commander aimed his weapon, but before he could fire, the sky lit up. A massive boom shook the land above. A fleet of ships entered the atmosphere, Earth and Ixari Alliance ships. The message had reached them. The Dominion soldiers stopped. The commander looked up and cursed. Within minutes, drop pods landed. Human Marines and Ixari defenders joined the fight. The Dominion forces were surrounded. Estra dropped to her knees, exhausted. Jace, still bleeding, laughed softly. We made it. Later, Jace woke up in the outpost med bay. His side was bandaged. His head felt light. Estra sat beside him, her armor off, her expression tired but warm. You're alive, she said. Barely, he replied. She touched his hand. We won. He nodded. And the child. She's safe. They're taking her to a protected colony where she'll be raised among both humans and Ixari. Jace looked down. So, this is the end? No, she said softly. This is the beginning. Weeks passed, the outpost was repaired. The Dominion ship was gone. But the memory of what happened remained. Jace and Estra stayed. They rebuilt the station into a home for hybrid refugees, for those who didn't belong anywhere else. A place where human minds and alien hearts worked together. Some nights, they still shared the same bed, not because they had to, because they chose to. They weren't alone anymore. They weren't broken. They were family, and somewhere out there, Laurie was smiling.